wanted to ask you about the now infamous interview that I'm sure everybody's seen by
Channel
now.
4.
With Channel 4. If you guys haven't seen it, it's terrific. Give it a watch. It's just Jordan Peterson interview Channel 4. It'll show up. It's got like over 5 million views now. The reporter was extremely confrontational. And I think the clip was so powerful because how calmly and skillfully you parried each of her verbal attacks. And, well, first of all, I'm wondering, did you anticipate that interview to be conducted like that? Were you expecting that kind of combativeness?
No.
Interesting.
I'll tell you what happened. So, and partly why it turned out the way it turned out. So I walked into the Channel 4 studios in London. I was having a wonderful time in London. The people at Penguin UK took wonderful care of me.
Very careful
to publish the new book, yeah. Yeah, and so I had a bunch of press appearances scheduled just back to back. And so I wasn't paying much attention.
They snuck it in there.
Yeah, well, when they didn't know, they didn't know. And so we walked into the green room, and the interviewer was there, and she was getting made up, and she was all chirpy and friendly, and we had a decent exchange, and then we went, and my wife was with me, and we had like a pleasant exchange, and then we went and sat in front of the cameras. The cameras were off, and we talked for 2 or 3 minutes, and it was all chipper and fun, and then the cameras went on. It was like she was a different person. And the thing is, I'm a clinical psychologist, and I've talked to people for, I don't know how much, somewhere between 25,000 and 50,000 hours.
Wow.
And I've talked to every sort of person you can possibly imagine and a bunch of sorts of people that you can't imagine. And so I have clinical antenna. And when someone does something like that, when they're one person 1 second and a different person the next second, it's like, I think, oh, I see. I'm not where I thought I was.
Was she? Do you think she was intentional in like the friendly backstage
like
and then immediately confrontational to throw you off?
Intentional is tough. See, if you practice something long enough, you do it automatically without intention.
Sure.
But you were intentional while you were developing the habit.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I would say, well, maybe what she was doing, or maybe she would rationalize what she was doing, was saying, well, we were two people to begin with, and then I snapped into my professional mode.
Right.
It's like, okay, I get it. Fair enough. Except, why that professional mode? So I don't buy it. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like, you're playing a hard-hitting journalist. But actually, you're not playing that. You're parodying hard-hitting journalist. Because what a hard-hitting journalist does is say, okay, here's this person, and I've investigated them, and I think that there's something not good going on. But it actually bothers me. And I'm actually curious about it. And so I'm going to think, okay, why does this bother me? And I'm going to give them a chance to defend themselves, but I'm not going to let them off the hook. And then I'm going to ask them questions that I really want to have answered. And not on behalf of someone else or anything like that. It's just like, here's your responsibility. This is what you were charged with. And it looks like this is what you were doing. What do you think of that? And the person offers their rationale. You say, well, I don't quite buy that because, I listen, but I don't buy it because of this and this. It's like, it's genuine. Even though it's like full-on assault, it's genuine. But her strategy, let's say, wasn't genuine. There was nothing genuine about it. It was an act. And I knew she was acting pretty much the second the interview started because she pulled that bait and switch on me. I thought, okay. And I've had this happen to me before where I'm talking to someone and they do something. I think, oh, I'm in a clinical situation here. I'm not in the real world. I see. So
is that
I'm a
what you
different
thought
person.
when that first happened? You're like, oh my God.
I thought, oh yes, I understand. It's like, I see. I'm not where I thought I was.
Was that part of the reason why you were able to stay so cool and calm and collected?
Yeah, because I was just watching. Now, and I wasn't perfectly cool and collected either, because she did set me on edge. It
quite good, though.
It was,
You were
quite
yeah,
good.
quite good. It was good enough.
All things considered.
All things considered.
Yeah.
That's right. All things considered, it was good enough. Yeah. And so I got detached, and I was watching her, and she'd say something, and I'd think, that bears no resemblance. Like, I couldn't even really be offended about it. It was like, if you misinterpret me in a way that captures 60% of what I was saying, and then distorts the other 40%, it's like, well, that can be annoying because you got me and you're twisting it. And so it sort of hurts, But if you're like 100% saying something that I didn't say, it's like, it's hard to even take offense because it's like, well, I see that you're attacking someone,
Yeah.
but it doesn't seem, I don't know where that person is because they don't seem to be here with you.
Her famous line throughout the interview was, "So what you're saying?"
Is, yeah, and she said that over and over. It was like, she had a trick.
Sure.
And the trick was reinterpret the statement in the most inflammatory possible
Yeah.
manner.
Sure.
It's like, well, first of all, that's only one trick. It's like you should have like 10 tricks at least because you're a professional journalist.
Right.
Like, let's move on to the next trick, shall we? Or maybe to give the devil her due, in this case, you could say, well, she's skeptical of me, and she has her reasons.
She's fairly representing a large number of people who are critical of you.
Right. So you could make that case and say, okay, so then you'd say, all right, she gets to have at me 5 times. But if that doesn't work, if it doesn't go anywhere, then she might think, oh, well, something about the way I'm approaching this is not right. The problem with the interview was that it wasn't that she was an attack dog. Like I felt afterwards, I said I felt like I'd been attacked by 20 miniature pit bulls all at once, you know? So, and I was sure, and I should say this to the credit of Channel 4 perhaps, I was absolutely sure after the interview that what would happen was that they would cut it so that I looked dreadful.
Right.
And I thought that was the certain outcome as far as I was concerned. And it didn't, like I wasn't really bothered by it because I was off to do the next thing, whatever it was. But I had no idea. Well, I certainly had no idea what was going to happen.
To their great credit, it's so easy on YouTube to disable the comments, disable thumbs up, or to cut it in this case, or not to post it at all, right? They're like, that was a disaster. I looked bad.
Yep.
To their great credit, they posted the whole thing unedited.
Yep.
Comments open, likes open, and I mean, God bless them for that, right? You know what? You really dominated that situation, and they owned it.
See, I don't think they knew that.
You think that after that, they're like, that was great. Let's
Well,
put it on.
I kind of know that because I had some communication afterwards through various channels to find out. Yeah, because one of the things I asked Kathy Newman through someone I knew if I said, look, that didn't go very well and you're getting kind of, shredded on YouTube. And I said, let's, it wasn't the conversation I wanted to have because like it worked out fine for me. Like all these millions of people watched it.
More than fine.
Yeah, more than fine. But it wasn't the conversation I wanted to have. I wanted to have an actual conversation. So I said, well, look, what we could do is, why don't we do it again? But this time, let's have a conversation.
So you said that before it was posted or after?
After.
Okay,
After.
let's make another video together.
Yeah, and like set this straight because like she was getting torn apart on YouTube.
Yeah.
And, I could have sat back and thought, oh, that's so satisfying. She's getting just what she deserved. And of course, there's a little evil part of me that felt that. But the more sensible part was saying, well, look, it's like, okay, 400,000 dislikes. It's like message received. That's enough, man. It's enough. And so I thought, well, people make mistakes, and we could have a sensible conversation, and everybody could come out of this a little smarter than they were.
Yeah.
But I got a response from her, again, through backdoor channels, and she said she didn't understand what had happened because she thought the interview had gone very well.
It reminds me so much of the humongous thing, of course, which what brought us together to begin with.
Yeah.
The fact that Zarna originally posted that video thinking, hey, I got him.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And Rudy had also reached out afterwards he wanted to meet and make amends
And
be
she
cool.
didn't want
he did,
to.
eh?
And she also rebuked him rudely. I don't know if that's what happened in your case, but
well, no, she just didn't respond. Well,
Yeah.
no, that's not right. That's not right. She said, let's wait for this to cool down for a few days and revisit it. And it's like, well, that it didn't progress past that. But see, something happened to me that was similar to that too. And it was the thing that actually made all of this. It was one of the key stages in all of this going viral. I made those videos criticizing the Canadian compelled speech legislation.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of protests, one against me, one for me. And at the free speech protest for me, where I was invited to talk, I came and talked, and a bunch of activists took the mic and blasted white noise and just generally behaved in a cinematically inappropriate manner. Let's say that.
Uncivilized.
Yes, in a way that didn't play well on YouTube. Well, after that, I went to my office and did some work. I came down to talk to the cops to see if everything was okay, and if things had cleared up, if anybody got hurt or anything like that. And I talked to the cops for a bit. And then on the way back, I got surrounded by unfriendly aggregation of trans activists, and they went after me, and accusing me of having Nazis at the rally and all sorts of things, and they videotaped it. They had their phones out and they were videotaping me, and they were gonna show the world what I was like. So we had a conversation for about 45 minutes, which they videotaped. I think, apart from the Kathy Newman video, that is the most watched video that.
Right, I know that one.
Yeah,
very well.
And I'm sure they posted it. They
accuse you of being Nazis.
Yeah, that's right, and being a bigot and a transphobe and all these things. And
yeah.
and they posted it because they thought this will discredit that damned professor, and it was completely not what happened.
And their accusations, what they charged you of, was just so like idiotic and unfounded. Like I can't imagine anyone watching that and being convinced, because it's really nothing.
But that is the mystery, right? It's the same mystery
it's
we're talking about.
It's the delusion of people being.
They thought that would be
confidence from nothing,
and they thought that would reflect well on them. And I do think it's the same.
What is that phenomenon?
It's ideological blindness.
Yeah. It's
You
just
know,
that
Confidence
blindness.
from nothing.
Yeah, well, you surround yourself with people who think exactly the
Echo
same way you do.
chamber,
Yeah,
circle jerk.
Yeah, exactly. And then any
Is that a kind of a shrinking?
Oh yeah, it's a terrible shrinking. Oh yeah, well that's partly why ideologies get so out of hand, is because you surround yourself with self-reflecting material.
You're not traveling.
You're not traveling
not
a bit.
exposing yourself to
No.
There's
and,
no yin yang.
and the circle gets tighter because one of your friends. So you've got rid of anyone who says anything you don't don't agree with, and then one of your friends, you're a little weaker and you're all a little more homogenous, and then one of your friends says something that's a little out of line. It's like, hey, you're out of here, man. You're the heretic or heretic, and then. Well, now you're down to 5 people around you, and they're even more homogenous and smaller, and then it's 4 people, and it's like soon there's nothing left
Race
of
to
you.
the bottom.
It's a race to the bottom, and there's nothing left of you by the time you hit the bottom. No, it's ugly. It's ugly. That's why you don't want to get caught in like an ideological vortex.
I think that's what's so scary about, that whole movement, right? It's just so
or movements.
right
in
movements
general.
in general.
Yeah, I mean that's the danger of ideological movements is that they oversimplify and then fall prey to their own oversimplifications.